watching YouTube Hero 2. I'm your presenter, Shabu RU. And this comic review is kind of interesting. We wrapped up with the Special Mission series, and we're going to pick up from the end of the Dawn of Arashikage. And to recap, we have two Snake Eyes. One is young Dawn Marino, a 17-year-old girl who has Snake Eyes' memory embedded in her. So basically she has all these flashbacks from Vietnam to, when he was actually Snake Eyes. And then we also have Sean Collins, Wade Collins' son, who's formerly known as Throwback. So two Snake Eyes. I don't know if I like this at this point. I like Dawn Marino's character because she's young, strong. She's, ethnic background, and I think that's refreshing. It's a really good take on the character. And then there's Sean Collins. So we'll see how this works. But what's interesting in this one is that it's issue number 1 of this series, and it's kind of like following parallel with the regular run of IDW's A Real American Hero, and the title of it is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue number 1. So it's kind of like how modern day military is. There's always, everyone's going off in different directions. So this isn't a unique thing. It's just interesting that IDW is doing it this way. And I think that's kind of cool. It's a new spin on things. So one of the things is this group of Joes, Bomb Strike, you have the two Snake Eyes, Alpine, Torpedo, so some old favorites. They're going, I guess Helix, which is a modern G.I. Joe character, has gone AWAL. So this group is actually going to look for her whereabouts. Now, this issue is kind of interesting because it deals with a big problem that our modern society kind of keeps underneath, but it's disgusting, and that's human trafficking. And this is like a very adult comic in the sense that, just that theme, that element is not like, the Sunbow series or whatever. So the violence is kicked up a notch, that's interesting. So without further ado, we're going to dive right in, all right?
The cool thing about IDW is they feature different variations of the cover art. So this is the one that I picked up, but I also like to showcase the others that are available. This one you have Dawn Marino sporting 2 swords. Then this is all the different versions of the covers. So this is cover B. And I like this one. This is the one with Scarlet, penned by Greg Horn. I just like his artistic style. And this is Dawn Marino because she had to go through basic training. Another one of Dawn Marino. And I think this is my favorite out of all of the covers. It's just captivating. So we begin with the group that are involved in this operation. So we have Bomb Strike, Alpine, Torpedo, Snake Eyes, Sean Collins, Snake Eyes, Dawn Marino, and Agent Helix. We begin with just Bomb Strike and Dawn Marino visiting Agent Helix's step-parents and questioning about her upbringing. They invite her to go upstairs to check out her room and search for clues. Basically looking for clues and something that point to her whereabouts. They peel back this wall and they discover this map of all these missing kids and their whereabouts, and they notify the other Joes. Let's discuss Agent Helix. She was not part of the vintage era. She's the only Joe to be first introduced through a video game in support of the movie with the same title, Rise of Cobra. Both are terrible, so it's amazing that something good came from those two piles of crap. Her action figures soon followed. Her appearance and popularity began to skyrocket despite what was little known about her. So they kind of followed Snake Eyes' initial template of being a big mystery. Her role within the Joes was that of covert operations. She carried out special assignments from General Hawk and Hawk only. Slowly, IDW began a little bit of her backstory. We know that she was orphaned and that Snake Eyes discovered her amongst human trafficking.
The Joes circle back and split up, tracking down the figures on Helix's board. Alpine and Dawn team up in Abysmia, a parody of Dubai. Hawk tells them to check into this upper-class hotel. They check in, and one of the guys actually phones someone, letting them know that the Joes arrived. They enter Helix's lavish upscale penthouse and discover she isn't looking just for the missing children, but she's actually hunting down the kingpins of human trafficking. They discover a newspaper where basically highlights how much killing Helix has been doing the past last week. It also dawns on them that if the crime lords know of Helix's intentions, they're probably going to try to do whatever it takes to stop her, anyone on her side. All of a sudden, a knock. Guy in the front desk called in assassins to rub out Alpine and Dawn Marino. Big mistake. Outnumbered 10-2, Dawn and Alpine flip the script on these guys, and they tear into them in a gruesome way. Nothing like the Sunbow Alpine. This Alpine has no time for BS. In a scene kind of like Batman, he takes the guy over the ledge and questions him. The scumbag reveals that a guy named Mahood sent them so Alpine and Dawn go visit this kingpin. They enter his complex and begin their assault on his henchmen. Again, they tear into these guys with extreme prejudice. They enter Mahood's bedroom to discover that Helix has already beaten intel out of him. He begs them to pull his life support and reveals where he had sent Helix. Alpine and Dawn phone bomb strike with the gathered intel. Mahood had sent Helix to Baruvia in search of another figure in human trafficking named Samsa. So Bombstrack gathers Torpedo, Snake Eye, Sean Collins, and arrive in Baruvia. They immediately are approached by a creepy guy looking to purchase Bombstrike. The Joes play along and he leads them down a dark alley and straight into an ambush. These dirtbags have no idea who they picked on. Jokingly, they let Snake Eye Sean get a warm-up. Arashikage trained, it was violent and quick. The creepy guy gives up Samson's location after seeing Sean's burned face, and the team mount up. It's weird seeing Snake Eyes knowing that it's not really the Snake Eyes. Torpedo comes across as a real badass in these panels. Very cool. The team go in fully armed and discover Helix's work. She's a one-woman bad guy killing machine. They stumble onto dirtbags moving children for human trafficking. They refer to the kids as inventory. The Joes give these guys much-deserved deaths, and I enjoyed this very much watching these guys get it. Bombstrike questions the lone survivor, who reveals his group's boss's name is Bruno. They had heard of a crazy girl slaughtering all of Samsa's men. They were just trying to move in and gather the kids for themselves. A young girl steps forward to the Joes, revealing that Helix did in fact kill all of Samsa's men and freed them. She takes them to where Samsa is being stored. Torpedo noticed immediately that there were fingers and toes in the waste bucket. The kids take turns stabbing Samsa for the atrocities that he had committed against them. Samsa pleads with the Joes to shoot him in the head in exchange for Elisa Bachman, the leader of the human trafficking. Fast forward, the Joes regroup and arrive at the AWAL platform that Samsa said Elisa was at. Could this be where Helix is? We'll find out in the next episode of Silent Options.